Call on Members' Order of the Day number 1.
Prohibition of gang insignia in government premises bill interrupted debate on first reading.
Members, when we were last debating the prohibition of gang insignia in the government premises bill, Jami-Lee Ross was speaking and has 4 minutes remaining.
Mr Speaker.
Jami-Lee Ross.
Mr Speaker, when I took the call before we ended a couple of weeks ago, I stood up and said that gangs were cancerous, corrosive, and had absolutely no place in New Zealand society, and I absolutely stand by that point of view. Mr Speaker, I congratulate Todd McClay for bringing this bill to the House, and I congratulate those who are prepared to support it. I am very disappointed that there are some parties in this House who have seen fit to become almost apologists for gangs, who have seen fit to reject this piece of legislation, and who have seen fit to stand by gangs and say that it's okay for them to wear gang insignia in public places and government buildings, and to intimidate members of the public, which is exactly what this piece of legislation is aiming to stop. I congratulate those parties that are supporting it. I congratulate New Zealand First for their stand in this House, for saying that it's not good enough for gangs to be wearing their gang patches in government buildings. It's not good enough for gangs to be intimidating members of the public. Mr Speaker, gangs stand for crime. Gangs stand for all things that are bad about the underworld in this country, and I think any moves that this Parliament can make to try and stop gangs from having a prevalent place in New Zealand society should be welcomed, should be accepted and should be supported in this Parliament. Mr Speaker, I finally, before I finish my 4 minutes, just want to say that I absolutely reject some of the comments that have been made in the media recently by a member of this House, Hone Harawira. Mr Harawira has seen fit to attack Todd McClay on the basis of the colour of his hair and the colour of his eyes. That's absolutely outrageous. And to say that attacking gangs, to say that it's wrong to bring a piece of legislation to this House which aims to stop gang intimidation is a racist piece of legislation. It's absolutely wrong, it's despicable, and it shouldn't be accepted by anyone in this country. Mr Speaker, Todd McClay is doing New Zealanders a favour. Todd McClay is standing in this House bringing a piece of legislation to try and make New Zealand safer, to try and make government buildings, local government buildings safer, and to say to New Zealanders that gangs have no place in this country. It's uncool, it's wrong, and it shouldn't be a situation. We shouldn't have a situation where gangs can wear their insignia, can wear their gang patches in public buildings. Because the gang patch itself is what the gangs love to show. It's the gang patch itself which shows solidarity amongst gang members. We don't want criminals to be showing solidarity out there in the community. We don't want criminals to be coming into public buildings, public libraries, public swimming pools or anything like that to show off their colours, to show off their supposed manliness because they think it's cool to be gang members and wearing their patches and their colours. Mr Speaker, this is a very good piece of legislation. I absolutely congratulate the parties in this House that are prepared to stand up and say gangs have no place in this society and we don't want them in our public buildings, we don't want them in our local government buildings. We should be supporting this House to support the moves to restrict gangs and wearing of their patches, and I say this bill is absolutely overdue and is necessary and should be supported by the whole House.
I call the honourable member Andrew Little.
Thank you.